This is a project speech that Ed Nicholson will be providing. It's part of the Pathways Motivational Strategies path. The project description or the purpose statement of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety and body language to enhance a speech. Ed Nicholson has been a Toastmaster for over 20 years. He achieved DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster, in 2011 and continues with Toastmasters to maintain his speaking and leadership skills and to help others also on that path. He believes Toastmasters can be fun in addition to helping with personal and professional life successes. Please join me in welcoming Ed Nicholson with his speech, Glossophobia. Glossophobia, Ed Nicholson. Glossophobia, that is the fear of public speaking. Fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests, have you ever been in a situation where the sweat is just sweating down your neck and you realize you've got to say something, but your mind and your tongue and everything is just jammed and you can't think of what you want to say? It's glossophobia, fear of public speaking. Some people, my earlier belief is I felt that if I was propped in front of a large crowd of people, I would never be able to successfully make a speech or make a demonstration or whatever the task was, because everything would just jam up. Glossophobia. Now, this happened to me quite a bit during my early part of my career. I was very shy. I couldn't communicate with people, especially if the person I was talking to was an authority figure. And the idea of being in front of a huge crowd of people, glossophobia, total fear of public speaking. Fortunately for me, at the time that I made my conversion, this is when the Chalk River Toastmaster Labs was Chalk River Labs Toastmaster was first setting up. So a lot of people in my building were chatting about it because that's where the club originated. My manager actually came to me and recommended that I join this club to get me on with my career. Obviously, my shyness, my inability to properly communicate was affecting my career, and I was going nowhere with this. Of course, my personal life wasn't doing much better either at that time. Now, with this, my terror, glossophobia about public speaking, I didn't take them up on the option. So, fortunately for me, later on, I did manage by accident to witness a contest-winning Toastmaster speech. And I realized, wow, that's fantastic. I'm going to have to look into that. And of course, at that point, I knew who to talk to because I've heard so much about it, people chatting about Toastmasters. I knew how to get an invitation to a Toastmaster meeting. And that was the beginning of my transformation and really did help me with my career, as I'm going to describe, and my personal life. Now, that first meeting, I was pretty terrified about going in there. Walked into the room and all these very important looking executive type people, management people, my terror. Fortunately, they recognized that somebody new had come into the room and they made room for me, even though they were very busy setting up the meeting. And they made room for me and made me feel welcome. And I felt like I belonged. It was great. Now, first few meetings, I was allowed just to be shy, sort of thing, to hide. But before long, they pulled me out of my shell a little bit. I was doing some small roles. And of course, I had a mentor assigned to help me get my first few speeches done. So one day I was up there, did my icebreaker speech. It was such a relief to manage to do that. A lot of practice with my mentor, got there. It was hard for me to do it, but I did it. And that was the start of my speaking skills. The end of glossophobia. Now, where did I go from there? Well, my career at that point started taking off. I started getting more opportunities all over the place. Career was doing really well. Unfortunately, one of the projects I was on, a very exciting project, crashed and burned. For political reasons, it was just shut down. My company, unfortunately, was very affected by politics. So I found myself, along with everybody else in my group, competing for the few jobs that were left in the company at that time. So what was my advantage? Well, I did mention earlier that I walked into that first Toastmaster meeting that all these very important looking people, well, they may not have been executives then, but they were now. And these were the three of those people were on that 5-member board, hiring board, which I had to face there to get this job. Did well. One of the people I knew quite well, the other two I knew in passing. I knew what I had to do, and I had the ability and skills to communicate, to sell myself at that time. And it worked out very well for me. I got the job despite all the other people that were competing with me for it. And that glass ceiling that was above my head before was gone. My career took off even faster than it was before. Did great for me. And of course, I did so well with my career that my retirement now is quite comfortable because it's based on how well my career was before I retired. That is a very happy story. I'm happy to pass on. I would like everybody in this room who's hearing this story to also consider passing on parts of it if they wish, or basically the idea of what Toastmasters can do for people. Pass it on to anybody you have a chance to speak to. Tell them about Toastmasters. Tell them about how it can help with your job, your career, your personal life, whatever, especially if you have glossophobia. This can be a thing for you to get over your fear of public speaking, to get on with your life, to find out how well you can do in life. So please, when you leave the meeting tonight, think positively about who you could invite to the next meeting. This, you will be doing them a great favor in helping them along with their lives. And of course, it also helps our club, because we need a certain number of people in our club to share the load, to make it so each of us can come out each week and enjoy the meetings, can have fun with the meetings, in addition to becoming better public speakers and leaders and putting that glossophobia away, becoming more. That's what Toastmasters is all about. And as I've mentioned many times before, in my opinion, Toastmasters can also be a lot of fun in addition to progressing your Toastmasters journey to a more capable self. Madam Toastmaster.